students. I hope you all are fine with the grace of Almighty Allah. Today I have picked up a topic from 10th class history textbook, that is second one unit, Rise of Nationalism in India. First, I will make the term nationalism, I will make it clear what does nationalism mean. Nationalism means love towards a nation, or we can say spiritual feelings, or we can say devotion towards a nation. So we all are familiar with the history of India. India was basically under British rule from 1600 AD. India was under British rule. India was under British rule. That is, East India Company came to India in 1600 AD. East India Company. Basically, when India was under Mughal kings' rule, there were many Mughal kings. We can remember the names of Mughal kings by means of a formula here. Bhajsahab, B-H-A-J-S-A-B. B indicates Babur, H indicates Humayun, A indicates Akbar the Great, the most powerful, the most, this we can say successful Mughal king. J indicates Jahangir. Here I stop here because my topic is up to this Jahangir, and this one Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, and this Bahadur Shah Zafar. When India was under these Mughal kings' rule, Britishers made many efforts to get permission from these Mughal kings to have a trade with India. But when they approached to Babur, Babur doesn't permit them to have trade with India. After that, they approached Humayun. Again, Humayun doesn't permit them. They approached Akbar. Akbar was very strict person. Akbar was very great one. He doesn't permit them at any cost. When Britishers came to know about the bad habits of Jahangir, Jahangir was basically, जो Jahangir था एक अयाज बादशाह था. जैसे आपने सुना होगा जहांगीर वो अनारकली सलीम, उसके कुछ शौक थे, वो ऐसा ही अयाज बंदा था. And Britishers take advantage of those things. They approached Jahangir and they said them by a delegation which was headed by this Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth was there, who was the head of the delegation. They reached the Mughal court under Jahangir's rule, and they approached the Jahangir to have a permission to trade with India. Unfortunately, Jahangir agreed upon their this approval, and Jahangir gave them permission to have a trade with India, and that results in 1600 AD, East India Company came to India to have a trade with India. Here arises a question, where did East India Company only came to India, as there are 195 countries in the world where they choose to come India only? There is a specific answer for that. India is basically an agricultural country. Agricultural country. India is an agricultural country. And agricultural production is considered a nature's gift. Here we doesn't have to invest anything, as there are these forests, there are water resources, there are these natural resources, spices, etc. These are considered as nature's gift. Here Britishers feel that they doesn't have to invest anything, they have to drain the wealth from India to Britain only. That is why they choose only India. And second one reason is that India is lying on the head of Indian Ocean. At that time there was no rail transport, there was no air transport, etc. The only way of transport was at that time this sea transport, and India was lying on the bank of this Indian Ocean, and that provides a good deal, that provides a good transportation facility to Britishers to come India. And all this taken into consideration, they came to India in 1600 AD as East India Company. Their sole aim was for people, they are telling the Indians, they are telling these Mughals, our sole aim is only to have trade with India. But that was not their sole aim. Their sole aim was there to capture India and make Indians their slaves, and to drain wealth from India to Britain. Their sole aim was that. And they became successful when there was Battle of Plassey in 1757, Battle of Luxor in 1764. They got full control over this India. And with the passage of time, they take a technique here that means divide and rule. Divide and rule. They first divided the people of India on the basis of caste, color, religion, etc. Because they know that if Indians get together, they can't allow us to have rule over Indians. They can't allow us. That is why they divided the people of India on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion, sex, etc. Casteism was very much prominent in India. Color system, blacks were blacks made hatred to whites, whites were making hatred to blacks, and that make a smooth field for Britishers to have control over Indians, to make Indian slaves and to drain wealth from India to Britain. Time gets passed on. The Mahatma Gandhi, whom first this Bal Gangadhar Tilak is considered. Remember this point? Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, which we also know as Lokmanya Tilak. It's this second one nickname is Lokmanya Tilak. He is considered the father of nationalism in India. Father of nationalism in India. Father of nationalism in India. Bal Gangadhar Tilak is considered the father of nationalism in India. He was the first person who started to make national sentiments, to develop national sentiments among the people of India. But with the passage of time, there began a revolution when the great man Mahatma Gandhi came to India, who was born in Porbandar, Gujarat on 2nd October 1869. I may provide you fastly the biography of all these leaders, as it is history. Jitna मैं बोलूं उतना कम है. But this Mahatma Gandhi came to India in 1915. He came to India. Nowadays, Government of India is celebrating in January 1915, 9th of January, I think so, and that 9th of January is celebrated nowadays that Bharatiya Divas Day, as they consider this Mahatma Gandhi the highest, the one who lives mostly in abroad. He came to India on that day, that is 9th of Jan 1915. Mahatma Gandhi came to India. When he came to know that the Indians were divided, जो हालत हिंदुस्तान की है वो बहुत ही खराब थी. Indians got divided on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion, etc. They were fighting with each other. Rich were very cruel towards the poor. Poor were living in a miserable conditions, and that doesn't allow Mahatma Gandhi to remain quiet. And he taken up many efforts. He taken many strategies. He taken many moments to develop nationalism sentiment among Indian people. The most prominent among them was non-cooperation movement, which began in 1920. Gandhiji called the non-cooperation movement because Gandhiji's ideology was quite different from other leaders. He believed in ahimsa, non-violence, satyagraha. He doesn't want to fight with any person. He doesn't want to make battles, etc. So he first gave non-cooperation movement, which remained quite successful. But unfortunately, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement in 1922 when there was Chora-Chori incident. When this mob became violent and they attacked the police station at Chora-Chori, in which many policemen died, etc. He called off that movement. The struggle remains continued till Gandhiji gave another movement, that is civil disobedience movement, Salt Satyagraha in 1930. That too remained successful. The sole purpose of Salt Satyagraha was that to get India free from the cruel nature of Britishers, as Britishers have taken monopoly over salt. And Gandhiji proved that we are not the slaves now, we are independent, and he broke the salt law by making salt from the back of Sabarmati, from this river, Sabarmati river. Okay, dear students, then this movement remains continued and he became successful. He said that Indians, this caste, color, creed, religion, it is nothing. Caste is basically identification mark. Color is nothing. We are all humans. We have to get together to fight against the cruel nature of Britishers. and he became successful. Britishers get collected, Britishers get Indians get collected, Indians get united. They became united and they fought against the British rule, and it was very fortunate that India got independence in 1947. Hope you may take advantage from this lecture. Thank you, goodbye, take care.